Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry, this is Time for Tea L144. If you're new here, my name is Monse, and if you're returning, like always, you're a real one. Thank you for coming on back to the channel, for hitting that like button, that subscribe button. Okay, I definitely appreciate it. Sorry, my daughter's coughing in the background. Yeah, so what is going on, y'all? How's it going? So I don't even know how to start off this video because I know what I want to talk about, but I just don't know how to kick it off. I want to say this first. Everything I talk about on here is my own experiences, okay? My own experiences from childhood, my own wounds from childhood. It's my story. And there's absolutely no reason why I need to lie about it, okay? I know that there's some people that have like no limits, right? And are willing to like create a false narrative, a false story for likes, for views, for whatever, for clout, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? I ain't that one. Okay? I would never get on camera and say, oh yeah, I suffered from SA from the time I was like 6, 8. Just from the time I was 8 till I was like 14. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't get on here and lie about some shit like that when I know that I'm not the only one that has gone through something like that. I would never make a mockery. Thank you, Spirit. I would never make a mockery out of somebody else's pain. Okay? Because I know what that does to someone. I know how dark it can get. Okay? I know how dark it can get. I know the places. I know the places. I know the places that we go to when things like that happen. You know what I'm saying? So I would never. I wouldn't. That's not me. I wouldn't do that. Okay? So I don't know. I just want to make that clear because I don't want people getting confused and saying things like, oh, well, she looks cool. She doesn't look like anything is happening to her. She's probably lying. I'm not. I'm not fucking lying. Trust me. I would love to be lying. 333 as I said that. I would love to be lying. I would love to tell you, hell yeah, I was just sitting up here on camera putting up a front. That never happened to me. But it did. It did. By my own uncle. Okay? My mother, my so-called mother's brother. Okay? Yeah. So, spiritual warfare, guys, is real. Okay? And your enemies, this is not that one. Bye, Sabria. Spiritual warfare is real. Okay? Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you think I'm crazy or not, or delusional or not, that's your business, right? But spiritual warfare is real. And when your attackers start to realize that they have lost grip on you, that you are now in your power, that you are now on your journey, that you have, thank you, Spirit, that you have surpassed the pain and the suffering that came with your situation. You've passed it. Congratulations. Congratulations. And it's needless to say, I am so freaking proud of you. Because, oh, it's hard. It's not easy. It's not something that you just say, oh well, whatever. It doesn't work like that. Okay? It does not. Especially victims of those type of situations. DV victims. Okay? All of that. Okay? So not just because I looked like I got it together means that I've always had it together. You know what I'm saying? No. I mean, I've always told you guys, my number one attacker has been the lady that raised me. You know, the one that you call mom. I don't call her that. But, you know, the lady that raised me. She was my number one attacker. She was my number one abuser. I mean, out of everyone, I honestly feel like she came for me the hardest. But anybody else that came for me, I feel like she was behind it at some point in time. I know Spirit's going to put everything out into the light. And that's all I'm waiting for. I'm just waiting for that. You know, my intuition tells me a lot of things. And I just keep those things to myself. Because once Spirit puts it on Front Street, right? I'm going to be like, yep, I knew about you and I knew about your ass. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I knew you did that shit, bitch. You thought I wasn't looking? Yeah, I saw you. Oh, you thought it was stupid. Oh, yeah, I'm not.
Mommy.
Oh, you thought that I was gullible. Yeah, no. It's because see, stupid. Oh, stupid and gullible are the roles that I love to play. Why? Because motherfuckers think that that's exactly what I am. Because people don't take the time to really get to know you, right? Because they carry the spirit of jealousy and envy and hate and deceit. They're just wicked human beings. There's not a single bone in their body. There's not a single bone in their body that there's not a single bone in their body that does good. Unless it's beneficial for them. Unless it's going to benefit them. So for example, right? I'm just going to keep calling her the lady that raised me, okay? Because I cannot call her mom. I can't call her that. And I don't want to be out here calling her all kinds of bitches, even though that's what she is. But I can't be doing that neither. So I'm just going to call her the lady that raised me. So this lady, right, would, like when she was eating shit, she would hit a bitch up. And she'd be like, hey, oh my God, I didn't work today. So, oh my God, let's go have some pupusas. We're Salvadorian, okay? So she'd be like, let's go have some pupusas and a cup of coffee. I have so much to talk to you about. Like, oh my God, life is so amazing right now. And here goes dumbass. I go, right? And yeah, she pays for the food. And she talks about how work is like great and so amazing. Like life, for her is like, I just heard a todo dar. You know, she makes it seem like, you know, she's living her best life, right? And so the whole time I'm like, oh, good for you. Good for you. Good for you. At no point in time, okay, do I ever think like, bitch, you lying. Bitch, no, you ain't. Bitch this, bitch that. At no point in time. Okay? At no point in time. And then she hits me with it. But do you think that maybe we can go to like, this happened. This actually happened. The story I'm talking to you guys about, it actually happened, okay? She was like, do you think we can go to check? She wanted me to pull out a loan for her. Okay, because as we were talking, right, I obviously told her, you know, she told me what her life was going like. So I told her about mine. I was like, oh yeah, I got a really good job. I'm getting paid really good.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my credit is this, that, and that. And my son is doing amazing. Like, you know, I'm like, and I even told her, I was like, wow, it's so good that your life is going cool and my life is going cool. Like, we're doing good. I was like, that's cool. Why the fuck did I tell her that? That was like the green light for her to assume that because I had good credit, I was gonna go out and fucking get her a loan. I was gonna pull a loan for her. And then right then and there, oh no, she didn't straight up tell me at first, right? She said how amazing her life was, right? And then right after, she goes, what are you doing to your skin? You look so young. I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. Not doing anything. I was like, it might just be, it must be natural. And she was like, no, that doesn't happen like that immediately, right? But again, you never catch that. You never catch those little hating comments like that, you know? You never catch him.
Yeah, get out.
You probably are just like, oh, well, I know, you know, but ¿qué estás haciendo con eso? You know, so I was like, no, I mean, I know it doesn't happen overnight, Mom, but, you know, I'm just, the more I do it, I mean, apparently it's working if you're saying that I look younger, right? So it's almost like, okay, so like she wanted to give me the compliment, right, to benefit herself, right, because she wanted that loan. But the moment I told her, oh yeah, it's because I've been doing this and been doing that and been doing this and it's working for me, it immediately turned into jealousy and hate, right? She'd be like, it doesn't work the way you're doing it. That's not how it works. But then she'd go, but give me the recipe anyways. That's what she would say. She would say that type of shit. You know, so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So I would recognize the red flags. I just wouldn't pay attention to them. I would see them and just be like, oh, okay. And then just keep it moving. Yeah, so...
Oh, your mom. I'm not doing nothing.
Te estoy viendo, eh?
Mommy,
Ah,
I want to put it aquí.
no.
But
So,
I think it's good home.
So, yeah, I would recognize them, right? But I wouldn't acknowledge them enough. Like, I wouldn't hold her accountable for her bullshit, right? And, well, every now and then, yeah, I would. It all depends, honestly. Because at this time, like, the story that I'm telling you, I wouldn't, I didn't tell her anything. I didn't recognize it as a red flag. It didn't come off to me that way, right? It just felt like in that moment, it felt, oh, okay, I see what you want. You're just using me because you want this money. But guess what? By this time, I already knew that she had stolen money from me before. I had let her borrow money on numerous accounts that she never fucking paid me back for, right? And so when it came to that, I just thought about it and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Why? Because you don't pay back. And it was like $1,500 loan that she wanted me to take out. I said no. She was like, but it would really help me. I need to pay rent and a couple of bills. And I knew that was a lie too. Because she don't do that either.
Yeah.
She don't pay bills. She don't pay rent. What she does is she'll move into a place, right? She'll move into a place, live there for as long as she can without paying anything. And then when they're finally on her ass, she dips out. That's what she does. That's what she does. That's what she does. Okay? So that's what she's known for. I've always known her to be that. Like one thing I'm gonna tell you, if I didn't know that she was doing magic on me, that she was like my #1 hater, okay? Dude, I don't know. To be honest, I can't wait for the truth to be officially out, because I would love to know what happened either before I got here or when I was a baby, a child, because I'm just trying to make sense of it. I have a daughter. But my daughter's 4. And I know by the time I was 4, she hated my fucking guts already. She didn't want me here. She didn't want me to be here. So I honestly feel, wow, hold on. I honestly feel that she hated me since then. Since I was that little, when if I didn't even know how to talk yet or something, right? And she despised me. How do you hate a 4-year-old? What could a 4-year-old possibly do for you to hate them so much and then to turn around and try to unalive them every chance you got? I'm about to tell you guys something, and this is going to be very triggering, okay? So I had an older brother. I say had because he's passed away now. If you guys see my tattoos, this is my older brother. Hold on. Yeah, so just trigger warning. Yeah, so he's my older brother, right? And so when I got here, she would always tell me how much he hated me. She would always tell me he hated you. He would beat you up all the time. He would throw you around, wrestle with you, and all this other stuff. And I would always tell him, like, no. Leave her alone. She's a girl. Girls don't get treated that way, blah, 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 right? You're a boy. You're stronger. Like, stop it. Whatever the fuck, right? But then when we grew, I don't remember none of that, okay? I don't remember that. And maybe I don't remember because it never fucking happened, okay? And it's just bullshit. Like, all she knows how to do is fucking lie, dude. Stop. Every fucking word that comes out of her fucking mouth is a fucking lie. This bitch don't know how to tell the truth ever. She's never told the truth, okay? And so she would always tell me that he hated me, that he tried to do this and he tried to do that. And I would always say, like, well, if I don't remember, then maybe it did happen. Maybe he does hate me. And I'm like, but why? And she would always say, oh, it's because he wanted to be an only child, and then you came along and fucked everything up for him, so he started attacking you. And mind you, we are both her children, okay? Technically. So, I grew up with that in my mind, right? And then once I got a little older, she cranked it up a notch. She would say, oh yeah, I remember this one time when he tried to drown you. I was like, what? She was like, yeah, we were at a friend's house at a party, and she had a pool, and her back window or her backyard door was open, and hold on, guys. Spirit's showing me something. Yeah, she was like, she had her back door open, and in the backyard, that's where the pool was, and you were standing on the edge of it, and he came up behind you and pushed you in. And not only did he push you in, he was holding you down, so you'd stay down in the water. And when I realized, ¿dónde están los niños? I asked, ¿dónde están los niños? She asked where the kids were, right? And they were like, oh, they're in the backyard. And I look over and I see him like dipping your head in the water, blah, 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 right? So I was like, oh my God. And I can't tell you how many times she told that story to people. It was, again, a false narrative, creating the lie, that is going to extend. Just in case. Just in case. This is giving like a premeditation type shit. Espérame, papi. It's giving like premeditation. Like, thank you, Spirit. Like an alibi almost. Right? You're gonna say everything you need to say and do everything you need to do in order so when shit hits the fan, nothing falls on you. Right? So this could be if I say, oh, Collective was out in these streets thotting and bopping, right? And then the person I tell that to runs into you, right? And you're happily married with children, right? You ain't thotting and bopping nothing. And this is what this is giving right now. At this very moment. I feel like all her crap is catching up with her. If it didn't catch up with her already, it's kicking her ass. That is the energy that I get. She's fucking getting her ass beat. And I'm not saying physically. I'm saying spiritually. Okay? Spiritually. Yeah, so I grew up like that, right? Thinking like, why does he hate me? He doesn't love me. He doesn't this. But I started to notice that every chance she got, she would send him away. Like he would go to LA with his dad. And then his dad didn't want him, right? Or his dad was too busy living his own damn life, right? So then he would send him off to El Salvador with his grandmother. And he was raised out there. So I didn't grow up with him. Okay, so because I didn't grow up with him, it gave her the space to create this false narrative about him towards me. And you want to know why? I honestly feel, oh, I'm going to cry. This is what I feel. I feel that my older brother and me, we are related. I feel him and I are related. I don't feel like we're blood. I'm sorry. I don't feel like we're half brother and sister, because I do have a half brother and a half sister. None of us share the same dad. You know what I'm saying? Surprisingly, right? I'm the husband stealer, the man stealer, but this bitch got 4 kids with 4 different dudes. Like, fuck up out of here. What the fuck you talking about, right? But the audacity. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, the audacity. You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch. So, but I feel that me and my older brother could have the same parents. We have the same parents. I don't know if it's that, or I don't know what it is, because, okay, let me just keep going. So when he was 15, my brother 15, he went back to LA to live with his dad, right? But then by the time, I think he was like 16 or 17 now, then he came to live with us. So I only lived with him probably like 2 years. In those 2 years, you guys, when I tell you, my brother showed me so much love, so much compassion. So I don't want to cry. He was great. He was great to me. He was amazing to me. And so I started, like, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep saying this? He doesn't, if he hated me, he wouldn't talk to me. And so by the time he was 18 now, right, my mom was trying to, this lady was trying to manipulate him into making him do what she wanted him to do, follow her orders, whatever, right? And he was like, nah, I ain't doing that. But it was like basic shit. Like he wasn't allowed to date. An 18-year-old guy wasn't allowed to date. Okay? She wouldn't let us date. She wouldn't let us use the phone. She wouldn't let us go out with friends. She had us cooped up in the house all the time. She wouldn't take us out, and yet she wouldn't let us go out with friends. We were always home. Like, always. Okay? So, my brother was like, I'm not about to do that. And she's like, well, it's your choice. That door is wide open. He was like, cool, because I'm about to go through it. He did. He left. She never saw him again. Okay? And so when he would come around, who would he call? Me. When he would come around, whose house who would he sleep over? Mine. He would only look for me and my other brother. Well, honestly, he would look for all of us. But my younger sister has her own issues with him that I think are like very retarded, but whatever. That's another situation. But that's honestly another situation that shouldn't even be a situation. But anyways, yeah, so that would piss her off even more. That started to piss her off even more. She was like, how come he doesn't call me? I don't fucking know. Tell him to call me. And I would deliver the message. But he's like, fuck that. He's like, fuck her. That's exactly what he would say. He would be like, fuck her. And he would say it himself. Mom's a whore. He's like, Mom's a whore. Mom likes to fuck around. Mom likes to sleep around. She gives a fuck more about guys than she does about us. She don't give a fuck about us. Mom's a whore. She's always looking out for what's best for her, what's the best interest for her, what's gonna be. And I'm like, dude, don't say that. That's like our mom. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. He would say shit like that all the time. He would call her easy. He would say that, you know, in order to get shit, she would have to, you know, give up the cooch or whatever. And I don't know. I would feel weird because, I mean, for me, at the end of the day, like, I would just be like, no. Like, this is the only mom God gave me, so I have to respect her. I have to this, right? But my brother would say different stuff. And so I feel like he knew. He knew what was up. He knew what was up. And so, like I said, since she does magic, right? She didn't leave him alone. She kept looking for him in the spiritual realm. Or so she says. Okay, this is coming out of her mouth. So we got to take it with a grain of salt. She would always say, right, that she ended up finding him in the spiritual realm and she was able to connect with him. And that he asked about his brother and his little sister. How were they? He was so worried about them. And she never mentioned anything about me until I asked. And I was like, what did he say about me? Did he mention me? Did he say that if he misses me, is he watching over me? You know? And she was like, oh yeah. He was like, ay, mi negra. You know, normally they call negra as like darker complexion. But it's, what's that? I heard a term of endearment, right? But right then and there, in that moment, she killed it for me. You want to know why? Because he never called me that. He never called me that. He would never express himself like that towards me. I know the name he would call me. I know, like, what he would say. Because that's how much of a connection me and him and I have. That we even have it now. That's why I wanted to cry. You know, because it's not because I'm not saying I don't miss him, right? Shoot, every single day. But I don't cry now because of the pain. I cry now because he's still here, and that makes me happy. But I also cry because I feel that he paid for something that it wasn't his fault. You know, when you dabble in like witchcraft and in things like that, if you're fucking with an anointed one, that witchcraft is not gonna touch them. And that witchcraft has to go back. And where do you think it's gonna go back? right? So I feel like spirit warns us, you know? Like, this bitch probably was told, like, calm the fuck down. Because you gonna see some shit and you ain't gonna be liking that. And I honestly feel that's what happened. I honestly think that's what happened. I feel like due to her doing spell work, that happened. That situation happened. And he is in a better place now. But I think it was due to her and doing spell work, okay? And not only that, now that I am on this journey, Spirit shows me a lot of things. And you know what I saw? God showed me in the spirit while meditating that scene that she was talking about him drowning me or trying to drown me in the pool or whatever, right? And him keeping my head in the water. Spirit showed me the reality. So I was really young, guys. I wasn't even 4. I was younger than that, because the one who looked like was 5 or 6 was my older brother. And she was carrying him like this, and with one hand she was going down on me. So the one that was doing that to me was her. She was the one doing that to me. It wasn't him. But she blamed him. And again, it was because of the jealousy of the fact that he looked for me, that he wanted to be around me, that he had love for me. That maybe if she tried to put him against me, it didn't work. It worked with my other 2 siblings. Hell yeah, those my other 2 siblings are this lady's bitches. Like, she runs them. She controls them. She runs them. It's like they have an on and off switch, and she has a remote control. And so, that's what, maybe me and him always had that connection. Okay, siéntese allá, pues. Me and him always had that connection. Me and him always had that connection. Like, every time we were together, we would sleep together. We would fuck around together. We would cut school together and hang out with friends. Because that was the only way that we could. Because when we got home, we weren't able to go out anymore. She had us cooped up in the house all the time. And then this bitch will go out to dinner with the husband she had at the time. She would take all the phones. She would take all the extension cords and throw them in the trunk so we wouldn't be able to make phone calls. She would take them all. And so my brother was like, fuck this. And he would leave. He wouldn't care. He's like, I'm gonna go see my girlfriend. Like, damn, I can't go see my girl. I'm 18, 19, I'm about to turn 19, and I can't go see my girl. I can't go have a slice of pizza with my fucking girlfriend. He's like, fuck that. I can't live like this. And he dipped out. You know, so she had us like that all the time. But once we started to grow up, she gave the little ones more freedom than she did me. She still had me like this, like under her control. I had an on and off switch, and she had the controller. Stop. And she had the controller. But the other 2, here, lléveselo para allá. But the other 2, my sister, by the time she was 13, she had already lost her virginity. I didn't lose mine till I was 18. Okay? And she would say that I was the one being promiscuous out in these streets. Okay. My younger brother, by the time he was 12, he was already, like, hanging out with gang members and all this, you know, running the streets. Right? Oh, but since I'm the older sister, I need to be the example. Why aren't you telling? Why aren't you doing it? Why come? And I'm like, what the fuck? Aren't you the mama? Like, what you doing? Right? Because I have a baby to take care of. Because by this time, I'm 21 and I already have a child. Okay? Which I also think she had a hand in fucking up for me. Because when I got to... Because when I met my baby daddy, we were so... Oof. He had a job. I had a job. And I was going to school. You know, we had a lot of things in common. Like, he was so funny, very charming. You know, he was, oh no, I wasn't 21 yet, y'all. When I met him, I was 19 and he was 21. And we started dating, and she off top, like always, every single boyfriend I have ever had, she hated every single one of them.
Can I have a flashback?
And then allá se las di a la mamuchis. She would talk shit about them. Allá los tiene la Dile que I said to share. She hated every single one of them. She hated every single one of them. She would always say things like, and this is like, I don't understand why these comments would come out of her mouth. So she would say things like, oh, you know, he's gonna like get bored of you and leave you because you're not good in bed. And that caught me off guard so much, right, that I just answered. And I was like, were you there? Were you watching? And she's like, don't talk to me like that. I'm like, no, I'm like for real asking you. I was like, I'm for real asking you. Like, were you there? Because only someone that was literally watching me do it could say, oh yeah, you're boring. Or no, it's not exciting. Or this, that, can have an opinion, basically, right? Because I'm not trying to get too much into that. Right? Can have an opinion about it. And she's like, oh no, it's because he expressed it to me that he doesn't think it's going to last a long time because, like, you're cold in bed. I'm like, oh, okay. And I stuck with that. That stuck with me. That's another thing that stuck with me because she repeated these things. She just sounded like a broken record. She would talk about my hair. She would talk about my looks. She would always say, like, because I have 3 other cousins, right? We're only 4 cousins. The rest are boys. And she would always say that out of the 4 cousins, I was the less prettiest. The other 3 were always more prettier than me. Or the other 3 had more features or had something unique that like stood out and made them like, right? And that, and so that, what that did, it created a whole lot of insecurities for me. It made me feel inadequate. It made me feel awkward. It made me feel insecure. It made me feel less than. So I'm like, damn, I'm not pretty. I can't roll around in bed with anybody. And she also made me feel like I wasn't intelligent, you know, because when I would have like ideas and I would say like, oh my God, check this out. So I want to do such and such and such and such, right? She would be like, yeah, but in order to do that, you need to do this, this, this. And don't get offended or anything, but I don't think you have that in you. Like that. And now we're up now to the point where of what I started talking about. When it came to that, I can't tell you how many times she threw it in my face. She wanted me to continue to relive that situation, that moment in my life. She wanted me to continue to experience the hurt and the pain and the suffering and the bitterness that was that time in my life. So she would bring it up. She would say things like, God, I wish I could erase all of that from your memory. I'm like, what? She'd be like, oh, the situation that happened with your uncle. I was like, why are you even talking about that? Nobody was even talking about that. Why are you talking about it? She's like, no, I was just thinking, because, you're so angry and bitter. And I don't want you to be like that. You're my daughter. I love you. She would, disguise it as caring. But no, she didn't give a fuck. She just wanted me to relive it. She wanted me to relive it. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to keep putting the thing in the camera. Yeah, so she just wanted me to relive it. Okay, so then she would say things like that. Or she would turn around and say things like, you know, she's like, you know, me, one time, hold on, guys. She's like, me and one of the maids one time went shopping, right? And, cierra ahí, Citlali. Cierra ahí. No. She said, oh, one time me and the maid went to the store and we got kidnapped by like 5 men. And they took us to a hotel and they were gonna, you know, do what they were gonna do to us. And we beat their ass and we escaped. I don't know how you couldn't do that. She's like, I'm not calling you weak or anything, but I don't know how you couldn't fight him off and defend yourself and then come and tell me. So then the narrative switched. I switched it. When she's okay. So at first when she would say that, right, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, it made me feel like shit every single time she said it. She got what she wanted. She made me feel like shit. She got what she wanted. I'm not gonna lie. She got what she wanted. Right? But the older I got, and like I said, she repeated shit a lot. She repeats things. She repeats the same thing over and over and over and over. Which is why I say she's a liar. Because if you repeat the same thing over and over and over again, right, and then people start to see that that's not true, you can't remember that lie. You can't remember that lie, right? So you got to make up a new one. You're like, holy shit, they're not buying that no more. So what do I say now? Oh, I know what I can say to save my ass. I'll say this, and I'll do this, and I'll da-da, ba-da-da-da. And I think that's where she's at right now. She's like scrambling all over the fucking place because she's eating shit. And so when I got older, when that story would come up, I would always tell her, then why didn't you do nothing when I finally told you? Or when you finally found out? Why didn't you put him in jail? Why the fuck did you invite him to live with us after finding out what he did to your daughter? What the fuck does that say about you? Well, he is my brother. Who gives a fuck? I'm your daughter. I came out of you. But now I know why she didn't do shit. Because I'm not her child. I'm not her child. Her mission here in life was to destroy me. This could even be like a past life, you know, beef that she's had with me. Because I don't got beef with her. I don't give a fuck about her. I don't care enough about her to fucking fuck with her, to fight with her. I don't give a fuck enough about her to do anything with her. I'm gonna be all the way real. I don't give a fuck enough about her to even care what's happening to her right now. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And so this is what I want to tell you guys. Regardless of who it is that has done to you, whatever it is that they done to you, no, you're gonna come out cool on the other side. And now I'm seeing a white butterfly. There is hope. Okay? There is. Trust me. Look at me. I am living proof of that. I told you 2 stories right now of kind of how I grew up with my uncle, what happened with him, what happened with my brother, and you know, this lady. I don't know why I felt to come on here and like to share these stories with you guys. I don't ever want you guys to feel hopeless. I don't ever want you guys to feel like there's no way out and that the only way out is to like disappear, like vanish. That is not the answer. 4444 as I'm saying that. That is not the answer. Okay? It is not. You are valuable, you matter, and you are important. Now I'm getting that movie, The Help, when she says, When she tells that little girl, because she knows that she's being raised by hateful women. That little girl's being raised by hateful women, right? And the mama of that little girl doesn't have a mind of her own. She don't got no backbone. She don't. So she gets told what to do by a hateful ass bitch. She's hateful. She's racist. She's wicked. And they're best friends in the movie. If you haven't seen that movie, I don't know. That could be, I suggest you go watch it. It's called The Help. Beautiful, good movie. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a true story. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so they're friends. Okay, and there's one friend who is wicked and the other one just doesn't have a mind of her own. Doesn't realize that this friend is like fucking her over more than helping her. She's even having problems in her marriage thanks to the bullshit that this friend is doing. So that's why I'm saying separate yourself. Go into isolation. You make that choice. Don't allow somebody else to put you in isolation. You put yourself in isolation so you can hear and feel the spirit. And spirit can show you what these people are really fucking doing. Just like spirit showed me about that pool situation I told you guys about. Spirit has showed me a whole lot of other things that I cried so freaking hard. But I had to see it. I had to face that. I wouldn't be right here right now talking to you and telling you my testimony, my story, if I hadn't gone through all that and gained all this experience and gained, it's life. You know what I'm saying? It's life, and sometimes we gotta deal with shit that we don't want to deal with, but that after dealing with certain shit, the outcome is beautiful. It's wonderful. It's peace. It's loving energy. Okay? So even if it's hard to separate yourself from a mama, from a daddy, from a sister, from a brother, from a love, whoever the fuck it is, do it. Do it and start working on you. It doesn't make you selfish. It doesn't, no matter what the fuck these people tell you. It doesn't make you selfish. You are not selfish for wanting to do better for yourself. Okay? Whew. I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Mwah. Los quiero mucho. Bye.